you're having the best time of your life. Housing prices aren't going up. Prices of food, gas, everything, that's not going up. You're living the happy paradise of your life.
One day you will own nothing and you'll be happy.
Exactly.
That's the way things are.
Oh, yes. And I mean, so like our overall theme, the headline we gave to the live stream today is, I believe it was the West is self-destructing, which I mean, this is just it's a common theme, right? That we've been seeing over the past years now. It's a trend that the West is it's imploding. We are tearing ourselves apart, right? And
it's lost itself.
Yeah. Exactly.
It used to have an identity, right? The West used to stand for something. I mean, the West is responsible for Western philosophy, and now they're trying to erase that. They're erasing, classical authors. They no longer teach, Aristotle or Plato in some universities because they're white men. It's absurd.
Exactly. It's the sort of things that Trudeau is out there championing out in Europe, well, pretending to champion out in Europe, saying I stand for democracy and liberal values and all that. But what he actually is really shoving down every single person's throat is completely illiberal, anti-Western values. The things all these basically Marxist ideology is pushing, whether it's within gender or race or economic Marxism, no matter what it is, they're all just different variations of Marxist theories that are pitting people against one another, and
because the process, real communism's never been tried yet.
Yeah, never been tried, and we're just destroying the Western identity, and so we got so many stories and clips today that help really show that, just in the most recent news cycle, what's been going on. So let's throw one of our videos here. Because you mentioned Russia, and of course all eyes are on Russia and Ukraine. Let's throw up that vid of Putin citing the cancellation of J.K. Rowling as an example of the West cancel culture. Because there's some interesting stuff I like to talk about there. But yeah, let's throw to that clip, shall we?
They cancelled Joan Rowling recently, the children's author. Her books are published all over the world, even just because she didn't satisfy the demands of gender rights. They're not trying to cancel our country. They cancelled Joan.
Yep.
So I mean, because we were talking about this a little bit earlier when we were off camera here, but it's interesting because we were mentioning how everything Putin says, it's as if he can never say anything right, because he's the villain in this situation. Anything that comes out of his mouth must be evil or wrong and must be the antithesis of truth, right?
That's because people watch too much Marvel movies, right? They watch too much Disney. This is their brain on Star Wars. He's the ancient evil. He's Darth Vader. He's got to be stopped. Everything he says is wrong. Everything he does is evil. He's a madman. He's on steroids. He's suffering from 5 different illnesses. He's about to die. They're just coming up with every single reason to demonize this man. And not only that, I mean, it'd be one thing if they just went after him. They're going after every single Russian. You speak Russian. You're a Russian author. You're dead for 50 years. They're still coming after you. They're canceling you.
Yeah. Exactly. And I'm sure it is, of course, is very well in Putin's political interests to be pointing out the hypocrisy of the West and to be pointing out, like, hey, guys, J.K. Rowling is being canceled because she's standing up for women and pushing, a more classical ideal of feminism when she's pushing against some of the more radical trans ideology, like, men being in women's sports and that whole sort of thing. And so it's just, it's funny to see that no matter what, because of course people going on about this, right? Because this just really helps to affirm that they're right, because Putin is the one pointing out the West's hypocrisy. Therefore, that hypocrisy must not exist because big bad evil Putin is pointing it out. But
that's right. Yeah. And then you have people who agree with him, but they're afraid to say so because he said it, or they'll say, well, he's being a cynical politician. He has never said this before. It's like, well, actually, if you listen to his speeches for the past 20 years, he has been on this culture war thing for 20 years, I would say.
Exactly.
And he knows since the 90s, even since the 90s. So this idea that he's just like, banking in on this to be a cynic, I don't think so. No, this is his thing.
Yeah, and it's interesting. I think it takes someone from the outside to really show us just how muddled our own thinking has become in our own internal debates here. And so even if it is someone like Putin who we paint as the eternal villain, it's like, yes, he's doing all sorts of terrible, evil stuff as any dictator guy would do. He's invading Ukraine right now, all sorts of stuff. But it's like there are also so many things we're doing wrong. And I mean, like,
that's right. I mean, it's like The issue is that the West likes to point fingers and says, look, Putin's doing this, Putin's invading this. What about when the West invaded Baghdad? What about when it invaded Belgrade and it bombed it and 5,000 people died? I mean, wasn't that just as bad, if not worse?
Yeah, possibly? Exactly. And it's like, we also...
50,000 people died in Baghdad in the first month, and no one talks about it. It's like, oh, I guess they're Iraqis, they're brown, so therefore it's okay.
Oh, hey guys, thanks for watching. That's a clip from our Rebel News Daily Livestream where we talk about the news of the day in an unscripted and interactive way. It's co-hosted at noon Eastern or 10 Mountain Standard Time by me on Monday, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. And on Wednesdays and Fridays, we've got rotating co-hosting happening from some of our other on-air talent. So good news, there's something for everybody. We broadcast on YouTube. But if you want the full uncensored version, you're going to have to find us on Rumble, Super U, and Odyssey. And be sure to sign up for our rebelnews.com emails so that you never miss us when we go live.